the Portland Trailblazers just took down the Phoenix Suns in their opening play-in game, meaning the Portland Trailblazers will be going to the playoffs and the Chicago Bulls will be getting their first round pick. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this. What's going on, Bulls fans? Welcome to another episode of Chicago Bulls Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bulls related. I'm the host there, Haize, but more importantly, you guys can follow the channel at Bull Central Pod on every social media platform we happen to be on. With that said, let's go ahead and celebrate. The Chicago Bulls will be landing an additional first-round pick in the 2026 draft after the Portland Trailblazers defeated the Phoenix Suns 114-110. Denny Avila with 41 points in this game. Drew Holiday with 21 points as well. You had Jeremy Grant with 16 points. Shaedon Sharpe with 12 points as well. This was a close game that went down to the wire. It took the Portland Trailblazers outscoring the Phoenix Suns 31-28 in the fourth quarter of that game to pull away with a 4-point victory. And listen, this is major for the Chicago Bulls. This is one of the deepest drafts in quite a while. And so now that the fact that the Chicago Bulls have now locked in an additional first-round pick and will pick 9 and 15th before the draft lottery, we have a chance to move into the top 4. Of course, we have a chance to move down 4 spots as well with our own number 9th overall pick. But what this has meant is that the Bulls have basically put themselves in the best position possible to have the best picks, right? So now they're going to have two top 15 picks in this draft one way or another. In a draft like this, that matters a lot because what that means is that the Chicago Bulls can go best available at number 9 and then go position of need at number 15, which is a big that the Chicago Bulls need. So whether that's Patrick Ngangba, the center from Duke, Jaden Quintenson, a guy who's kind of moved down mocks, but almost 6'11", 255 pounds. A lot of you guys have talked about him. Now the fact that the Bulls have guaranteed to lock in this pick, it opens up the door so much for what the Chicago Bulls can do in this draft. The Bulls haven't got lucky a lot, right? Especially under AK. Luck has not really known Chicago Bulls or Chicago Bulls fans. This could be the first step in things really changing for this team. And maybe this means that our luck is looking up. We still got to hire a new front office member, which is still the most important thing for the Chicago Bulls. And we still need to make it through the draft lottery, which goes down in about a month towards the middle of May. But once those things happen, right, over that time, we're going to figure out what's going on with Billy Donovan as the head coach. We'll figure out who's going to be running the show and making those draft picks and then focusing on the draft. This completely changes the complexity of the draft lottery for the Chicago Bulls. So on today's full episode, because this is just a breaking news episode to celebrate the fact that we got the number 15th overall pick, on today's episode that's going to be dropping in a couple of hours, I will talk about some of the best targets at that number 15th overall pick for the Chicago Bulls, now that we know we will be picking at number 15th. But this is hugely major for the Chicago Bulls. So now, in a draft that is marked as one of the deepest drafts in years, the Chicago Bulls are going to have a pick in the top 10 and another pick in the top 15. And in a draft like this, the talent that you get in the top at 15 is basically going to be an upper lottery pick in most drafts. And so that the number of the amount of talent that's there, especially now, big. I think that's what you have to do now if you're the Chicago Bulls. You focus on the best position available early, which is probably going to be guard or wing, and then you can go, big with your number 15th overall pick. This is a huge step in the Chicago Bulls actually adding the necessary talent to this team, and that's always what it's been about with this, is getting the talent that you need, adding that in here, and so now you have tons of flexibility in the draft. And, even with the Bulls also having a 38th pick with the New Orleans Pelicans pick in the second round, now you can try to move up maybe a little bit more. Maybe you can do something like that. You have tons of second-round picks. Maybe if you see somebody, maybe you can convince somebody at 13 or 14 to trade down. It's a lot that the Bulls can do with this pick. Drafting another young talent, though, is the most important thing. You can package picks to move up. You can trade for a young player. You can draft another young piece. But considering Michael Reinsdorf's words of wanting to do this organically, and if you're going to win, do so sustainably. And so now that opens up so much option. So now you look at the Bulls' young core of Josh Giddey, you got Miles Buzelis, you got Noah Essengay. A lot of people are going to also count Leonard Miller to that as well. We'll see how Leonard Miller fares, but now you're adding 2 picks to that to add to that young core. So the Chicago Bulls could really jumpstart and have a nice young base, but you got to get these picks right. And that's why the person making the pick is going to be just as important as anything else, because the Bulls need the right person making these picks that can actually get us to the next stage as a franchise. And hopefully that does happen for the Chicago Bulls. But I want to hear from you guys on this one. As I said, we'll go into a more full-fledged conversation on this on today's daily episode that we'll be dropping in a couple of hours. But times to celebrate. The Chicago Bulls are getting an additional first-round pick. So I want to hear from you guys and how you feel about that. Make sure you guys are following us at Bulls Central Pod. You send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, bullscentralpod@gmail.com. And lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We are the #1 spot for everything Chicago Bulls related, but that is thanks to you, lovely and beautiful people. And like I like to end every episode on, love you guys, go Bulls, and always see red if you can, y'all. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Breaks Media House.